Pool has two bond beam breaks. One of them happens to be over here, and we found that you could feel it. So we're going to take it literally from the bond beam up. But when we did our leak detection over here, we were conclusive. The pool water level was up to here. We had our pool scope over here. We were hearing leaks, and we have one in the spa that we're going to show you. Those were conclusive to be leaking. So we're going to show you how we do a proper beam repair, how we take it from the crack up, remove the coping, remove the tile, break it down to good solid gunite, repair it, and do what we have to do. So this is what we're going to show you. This is how we're going to get it done. So take a look. So we cut our control joints to keep everything from chipping up. Again, if we cut, we can control where we're going to wind up chipping. Then we chip it up, being careful not to try to get too far into the plaster. Look, we have to remove everything from the beam break up. We need to get down to clean gunite, and we need to remove everything, get everything dirty, get everything that's in there, even old rusted steel, out of the way. So chip it all up till it's all cleaned out. Sometimes it comes out in large pieces. And again, we're going to try to save some of that tile. Next thing we do is we install our rebar. So what we do is we drill in every couple of inches. In this case, it was about every 6 to 8 inches. And we install steel dowels into the actual good gunite. So where the bond beam broke off, we're going to install those dowels, and then we're going to tie them together by a tie rod that's going across and put multiples in. Next thing we do is we board form. So in order to pour a new bond beam, we're going to board form the front, we're going to board form the back, so that it allows us to pour concrete in. And now with that steel in there and with a nice clean beam, we're going to get a good chemical bond. We're going to get a good adhesion to the existing gunite that's there. After that, we're going to pull our board forms off and get ready to tile. Once we pull our board forms up, we leave that little lip that you have there so that the tile fit in just perfect. Our board was about the thickness of the tile, as you could see that lip that we left there. Next thing we do is we tile. So again, we're just going to use thin set. We're going to float it. We're going to scratch it with a notch trowel. We're going to set all our tile. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to do our coping. We're going to set our coping, and then we're going to re-grout it all. We just use the same spec mix that we set it with, and we're going to rub that spec mix kind of like a grout all the way in, and now we're going to move on. So now we have our spa. We have a beam break in the spa as well. We have previous repairs with bubble gum, 2-part epoxy, hydraulic cement. We give you some close-ups so you could actually see the structural crack. Again, we're going to do our cutting and chipping controlled. We're going to try to do as least damage as possible. We're going to chip down from the crack all the way up. We're going to cut the tile here, and we're going to try to save them. We're going to lay them out and save them the best we can, because again, this is impossible to match. So now the hard part is chipping down from the crack up. We're going to work our way down, and then we're going to get in from the crack, and we're going to clean that all up. This is soft material here. Any rebar that was here was rotted out, as we showed. And we're going to keep cleaning it up from that crack up. And this is what it kind of looks like. So now we broke this down. This is the part of the bond beam in the spa that we showed you previous pictures of before. This is the bond. This is the steel that's tying the bond beam, and you can see that it's all rotted out and it's all rusted from the chemical penetration. So it was leaking. Water was getting to this rebar. But look how this pool is designed. The other back part of that bond beam is going literally under this deck portion. So when whoever did this steel and they tied this steel and shot this gunite, they don't have the bond beam where it's supposed to be, which is right here and then tying to this side. It's back here, as you can see it if I dig it out for you. So again, this lasted for a long time. This pool's got to be 30 years old. However, this is the reason why we had this particular bond beam failure. So now we're going to epoxy dowel our rebar into clean gunite as we did in the first repair. We want to get a solid bond. So we're going to board form and we're going to get everything ready, but we want to show you how we tie. So will we leave some existing rebar in there? Yes, we're going to put new in there, but anytime we could save any rebar, clean it up, we will. We're going to tie our rebar to our bonded steel dowel so that we get a really good adhesion for when we pour it with concrete. After we pour it, we're going to pop our board forms off, and again, thickness of board forms approximately thickness of tile. Now we have a solid beam to work with. We're going to lay out our brick. We're gonna lay out our tile. We're gonna do what we need to do as far as grouting them once we get them in. And then we're gonna do our patch. We're gonna do a PebbleTech patch and we're gonna match it the rest best we can with the rest of the pool. We're gonna wash it down so that we get a nice exposure, and this is what it looks like when we're finished.